but we should probably get to the next big trade that happened on Sunday. And this one has been in the works. De'Aaron Fox traded to the San Antonio Spurs in a 3-team deal that sends Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings. The Kings received 2 first-round picks. They get another first-round pick that's like top 14 protected from Charlotte, so that's not going to convey. But they also got a 3 second-round picks in addition to that. And they sent Kevin Huerter to the Bulls. That's why the Bulls are so strange. They also took Zach Collins and Trey Jones from the Spurs, and then they got their own 2025 first-round pick back from the San Antonio Spurs, which is interesting. You'd think like, okay, the Bulls, they didn't want to tank because they didn't have their pick, but that pick that the Spurs owned was top 10 protected. And the Bulls were in prime position to be a top 10 lottery team, especially if they traded Zach LaVine.
But for some reason, they never really wanted to commit to that. But whatever.
They decided that this was the return that they wanted. It also, to be fair, if the pick doesn't convey this year because it's protected and the Bulls were going to get it, it would have just rolled into next year. So now they just control the pick and the Spurs don't control it at all. So like kind of get it, but also don't.
Okay.
If you have an opportunity to get like actual assets back for Zach LaVine, maybe you should do that, but they didn't. And who knows like what the actual offers were outside of some of the rumors that we talked about related to like MPJ over a month ago.
I feel like they really just wanted a first round pick for LaVine. That was like the biggest thing in their mind.
But it was their first round pick that that was already top 10 protected. So it was going to convey this year.
What better pick? Or
they would have been able to keep it this year.
What better pick to get than your own, you know? Bulls logic.
Anyway. So what do you think about this deal for the San Antonio Spurs, first of all?
Okay, so I think some people are very high on this deal. Like I heard even Zach Lowe talking about how, the Spurs are going to be scary. And it is nice to give Fox credit because he is like a good player. And I think that the Spurs are going to be better, of course, because like you add more talent, you're going to be better. And you have Chris Paul there who, I don't know, he could maybe coach up Fox and stuff like that. But I am surprised that they like committed themselves to Fox already early on in Wemby's career, because I think there was a lot of players who were going to want to come play. And I think they probably would have had pick from a lot of people if they were more patient. You never know what player is going to come available that you could like put Wemby on it. They're not like locked into Fox either. Like they could do something or trade him eventually too. So it's like, I guess why not take a shot on Fox? He's a good player. He's available. They didn't have to give up basically anything to get him. So that's cool. Like they kept up their better players anyway. So
yeah, Fox is just to comment on that quickly. Fox is 27 years old. So he's still going to be like in his prime, a year or two from now. Like, let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Right now.
And they only gave up 2 first round picks for him, right?
Yeah. So they still have,
and it was only one of their own. So it was the two real picks that they gave up were 2027 San Antonio and then 2020 or 2031 for Minnesota. So like the San Antonio one is like not even going to be that good because the Spurs are like getting better now. The 2031 for Minnesota is kind of like, who knows? Because they'll still have Ant in all likelihood, but
yeah, I guess
maybe
for
they
that
blow it up.
2027 Spurs is probably not going to be lottery. I don't know. It doesn't scare me right now, at least, but it's just another step.
All their good young players. Like the only one they sent out to they sent out Zach Collins and Trey Jones to the Bulls.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to necessarily play them in the playoffs just because of Wemby, right? I don't think anyone does, but it's just one step closer to like the annoying possible dynasty that the Spurs might become with the Wemby. So like, I don't love it. Like I'd rather Fox go to the East than the West, because it's just another team getting better, of course. But
Spurs were his preferred destination, and he had more leverage in this situation.
I think
this was not a Luka situation. Like he had not technically asked out, but he basically told the Kings, "I'm not going to be extending with you."
Yeah, it was smart of Fox to pick the Spurs. Like that was a good. I would go there too if I was him. So,
especially because they have the assets to like make this, real.
Yeah, and not like ruin their team in the process. So. Unless you were the Bulls and actually asked for some damn players for once. Just from the Fox and like LaVine perspective, because I mean, unless you want to say more about the Spurs, like the Kings, it's just interesting. I didn't think LaVine was going to end up on the Kings, and it's just funny to me because it's just like such a similar move. I don't think it moves them up significantly or moves them down significantly.
Yeah.
I've heard both arguments of whether Fox was playing better than LaVine this season. I think in the long run, Fox is obviously the better player, but
Is it
LaVine,
obvious? In the long
yeah,
run, yes, because
yeah,
he's younger
yeah,
and
exactly,
LaVine and like way more available.
yeah.
But I think they're pretty like comparable when they're playing well.
And LaVine's
Fox
been
is a
playing
slightly
well.
better playmaker, but not by a lot, which is why I'm not like quite as high as everyone that was just like, oh man, Fox is like the perfect fit with Wemby. Like, yeah, it'll be nice to have a dynamic scoring guard, but I don't know. Like, I would like someone that's like a higher level playmaker with Wemby, like a Darius Garland or even a Trae Young type who is a worse scorer, to be clear. Darius Garland this season especially has been like awesome. Like, I think the Spurs should have swooped in, and I think there were talks in the summer that they were kind of inquiring about him, like trying to buy low because Darius Garland had such a terrible year last year, but the playmaking has always been there. But yeah, in comparing Fox and LaVine, I think they're pretty comparable. LaVine's a better shooter, like
Yeah,
off ball player for sure. Um, yeah,
I mean,
I think I think it's going to be like a pretty good fit in Sacramento. Like, I don't think it's going to be an awkward, um, like one for one fit. It might even be a little bit better because of how good Zach is off ball. And
yeah,
there are so many other on ball creators there between Domas and Malik Monk and DeRozan.
yeah. On the one hand, how the Kings always do this, because I remember when they traded Halliburton for Sabonis, and we were all like, Halliburton has this huge upside, and you probably should be trying to like rebuild a little more than making this move
Well,
where you're
they basically chose it's going to be between Fox and Halliburton. We're choosing Fox.
right. Yeah. But it was just like a weird. I mean, the Kings have been this down, really bad organization, and the fans have a great home atmosphere, and I feel good for them that they've been winning more, and they have the whole light the beam thing, and they have like good vibes, and then they went to the playoffs recently, and obviously are a little more disappointing this year. Uh,
Oh my
losing,
God, Halliburton with Wemby. Think of it like because of that playmaking, like
yeah, that's true.
fire.
I mean, losing Fox sucks for the Kings because he's a really great player. You don't want a good player like that to ask out, but you get someone like LaVine back to kind of steady the ship. But sometimes I wonder, should they be like, is this really the direction they should be in, where they're kind of like in this limbo, just very mediocre
They just don't want to
land?
suck again.
Yeah, they just don't want to suck, but it's like, what are you doing otherwise? I don't know. Like, I'm happy for them. I guess
They're
I
just
hope.
like having fun. They're
Yeah,
just like vibing out.
it's it'll be cool to watch LaVine. Like, happy for them, I guess. But I don't know really what this does. I'm not like scared of the Kings, but good
If
job.
this were any other franchise, like almost any other franchise, I would agree. Just like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
But after being a franchise that doesn't make the playoffs for 20 years,
keep the beam going. That's what they got to do.
and then you have this like magical season where you become the 3 seed in a down year for the conference, but that record would have gotten them up to like the 6 seed, I think, last year, or like close to it, whatever. Uh, and then you get a taste of like, man, it's so fun to like have crowds here, that like all these people that care so much about this team. And it's not like they didn't care before. Like the fan base for the Sacramento Kings is incredibly dedicated and have been for like a very long time, like back since before they were when they were good again in like the early 2000s. Right? So this is like a reward to them, like giving them something good to watch. The other thing that makes it different is if we were coming up on, we know Wemby's going to be at the top of the draft in 2 years. It's time to start tanking. That's different.
Yeah,
It's also hard to project like who's
who's
going to
gonna
be
be
the
there?
generational talent in, a draft 2 years from now. And yeah, you just end up missing out on that stuff. But maybe they're just like, we're kind of out here in the wilderness and we're just trying to like be a friend. It's like it's the complete opposite, like complete opposite of the Mavs, who have no understanding of the emotional responsibility that a franchise has to their fan base. I don't want to give the Kings too much credit, though, because that organization has been run like a hot freaking mess. They need to stop firing every head coach. That's like number one. Like, find a good one and keep them. Okay. Have some stability in that organization, because that's one of the other things. It's just like players, they take us seriously now. DeRozan wanted to go there. Like, who would have wanted to go to and I don't know if he wants to be there anymore with Fox done, but maybe I have no reason to think that he and Zach weren't friends, so it might be fun just playing with his friend again. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people posting about like LaVine's numbers with DeRozan on the floor, and now he's going back and it's not good. Whatever. But in terms of just like players want to be here, DeMontis did extend with them. Like, it was a renegotiation extend and all this stuff, but it's like they're not getting free agents. They're just trying to vibe out.
He's an exciting player. I want to see how they are with LaVine. I think it's going to be fun, but
I really hope they don't make the playoffs, because I don't really like that matchup for us defensively.
Sabonis
too much on the perimeter. I don't think they're like a great matchup. Like, we're a bad matchup for them defensively for the same reasons we were already, in terms of the size issues and all of that.
I mean, I think we win, but it would be annoying for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if something happens with DeMar, though, just because that is a weird fit. But they probably, I don't know if they checked in with him, was like, would you really hate if we brought LaVine back? But I don't think he hates Zach.
I don't think they checked in with DeMar to ask that. They were just like, oh, a player?
I used to have so much more
back?
faith in organizations and their consideration for their players, and this is all in shambles now.
I don't know why anyone would have faith in organizations and their consideration for players. I think a lot of players, like their faith in terms of the star players, like the ones who should really have like some comfort when they put their heads on their pillow at night, they're going to be on the same team the next day. Their faith is a little shaken by this Luka news, and understandably, because Luka was definitely like, maybe Tatum is in that category. Obviously, Jokic is. I'm not even like Giannis. I think those guys, it's like, we're not trading you unless you ask us to.
And even then, maybe not.
I don't, and even like, especially with Tatum and Giannis, because the Bucks are in like a really tough spot right now.
They wouldn't trade him willingly, though.
But maybe it's just nobody, like Jokic included. And there would be like January 6th style riots outside of Ball Arena if they pulled something like this. And Jokic isn't even 25 years old.
This is more of just like a weird anomaly, like and not like any kind of a precedent. I don't think like players need to be worried.
Well, this is how precedents start. Well,
yeah, someone has to start it, but I would be surprised.
The Suns are apparently in conversations for Kevin Durant. Maybe they're looking around and they're just like, maybe we do just suck and it's time to blow it up.
I would if I was them, but
KD hasn't asked out. He also didn't extend with the, which would have made him trade ineligible. So that's like a little, that's interesting.
Yeah, who's going to be the first to bolt to Golden State? I think LeBron should have gone there, even though he would have gotten crushed for it. And but KD might go back. You never know.
I don't think LeBron can save Golden State right now, to be completely honest with you.
No, but LeBron, if I was him, I'd rather play my last years with Steph than Luka. But that's just me.
Luka's one of his favorite players.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely not. Don't blame him.
I don't know about the fit, but
it's probably like, just better. Just stay in LA and play with Luka and just enjoy your life.
Enjoy your time with your family, the place that you live.
Go home and talk to Bronny about how his G League game went.
We didn't talk as much about the Bulls side of this, but yeah, they're just, continuing to be lost as an organization. But maybe they're like, they can actually like tank now for the next 2 years instead of just this one. So that's, we'll see how that goes along. I just really want Cooper Flag to end up in the East. Just like, don't end up in the Northwest Division at least. Come on,
please.
Over this.
I'm like so nervous about this lottery. I need an East team to win. Adam Silver.
If he does end up in the West, it has to be to the Jazz.
Yeah, okay, fine.
That's it.
Adam Silver, please, come on. Rig the fucking lottery. This is absurd.
Please, if you like our content, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share us with your friends, your enemies, your family, their enemies, their friends, their barbers. They're dog walkers. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at What's in a Game NBA. We have all our social links in the description. And always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks, especially losing a trade to Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers.
I know. It's Pelinka. Ugh. Don't get me started. We're done.
We're done.